So, hi. Last time we were about here, I think. We've got the random number being generated here, using the answers array, the number of items in the answers array, to give us that maximum random number. So it's never going to give us one more or less than that. And then we use that random number to put the text from the array into the answers label. That's what this part does here. Answer label.text equals answers array random number. And then I said we'll look at something called abstraction. So abstraction's more of a concept rather than a programming thing. Basically what it means is we're going to put all the stuff that happens here. Really, when you press the button, the only thing that should happen is the button should update. Anything that you want to do other than that, not the button, like the label should update. Anything that you want to do other than that should be dealt with elsewhere, so that when you come to read the code you can say, right, okay, he's doing that, it's called this function which we're going to use, and then that's how the button's updated. It just makes it easier to read, because we might want the button to do more things, so we just deal with one thing at a time. So rather than having this part here just full of text, we take this part and make that its own little job. So what we'll do here is we'll go down here and we'll declare a new function, and a function is just a block of code basically that you can call, and you'll see here it says return, oh, didn't mean that. You'll see here it says the name, right? We're gonna call this function get answer, and then it says parameters. So we're not going to put any parameters this time, but what you could do there is you could say, like, give me an answer which is a positive answer, or an answer which is a negative answer, or an answer which begins with a letter, or give me two answers. Whatever you want, you can, whatever parameters you want to have, you can define them there. What the hell has just happened there? That is not what I wanted. Pain in the neck. Right, func get, why is it? Right, let's just do this again, because I wanted to show you this. Right, func parameters, no parameters, return type. So when you call this function, do you want it to give you something back? In this case we do. We want it to give us back an answer, and that's going to be a string. Okay, so the name is answer. No, it's not, it's get answer. And then we'll just escape that so as it goes away. And then the function body, this obviously that's where we're going to do the work. So what we're going to do is we're going to do all this work in the function. So rather than when you press the button it's going to build the array, it's going to get a random number, it's going to set that random number to the answer label text, we're going to do that inside this other function. It makes it much simpler and easier to read. Whether or not the array should be in here, or if it should be built when the program starts, is debatable. It's not massive, so we'll leave it there just now because we might as well. We might change that later. So in here we're saying get the random number and then set the answer label.text to the answers array random number. By the way, one thing that I forgot to mention about arrays, not arrays, variables and constants, if you declare them inside a function, like in here, in this function, or in this function, that's just a function as well, or in the view.load function, then they become only usable within that function. So I couldn't go here now and say random number equals 4. That'll say what is random number. Don't know what you're talking about. So you do command B to build it. Oh, that's breakpoint again. Delete it. Right. See, it says use of unresolved identifier random number, because we've identified that down here. So we'll just delete that. If you want to have a variable that you can use anywhere, you declare it up here. See, we've declared the answer label up here inside the view controller class. So anything that you declare inside the class part can be used in any of the functions. So in any function we can talk about to the answer label because it's a global function. That's all I wanted to say on that just now. So in the shake button function, we still want that to update the answer label, so we'll go answer label dot text equals, and we're going to set that to get answer. So now get answer is when you run that, when you call get answer, it's going to come in here and run anything that's in there, and then you'll see it's got an error here because what the error says is we've never returned anything, and we said we were going to return a string. Now when you return something from a function, you can ignore it or you can use it. It just depends on how you want to use the thing. So in this case, we're going to say return something. We're not going to do it right now because we need to sort out how we're doing that. But then you can call the function and you can use the returned value, or you can ignore it. So we'll just leave that array like that. In fact, I'm going to take this out and just put it inside. We know that we can append something to the array later if we want to. And we can do that program from the program as well. So if we wanted to type in an answer and say let's have more answers, we'll type them in ourselves. You can update that later, use that append function to do that. We might look at that later if we want to go that far. So the variable random number, we're still going to need this, and it's equal to the integer value of arc4 random uniform, which is calling a uint32 value from answersarray.count and then assigning the random number based on that. And then answer label.text is, see, we need to take this out now. What we want to put here is return, not capital, return, we just want to return the answers array random number, and that'll be fine. If we run that now, it'll work. See, we'll do Command B to build it. It's not complaining about anything, it's absolutely fine. But the code is still more cumbersome than it needs to be. We can tidy this up a bit because we're declaring a variable for the random number, and then we're using the random number here. There's no real need for that. We can just get rid of that. So what we're going to say is return answers array answers array this. So return answers array. We'll take that and then we'll pump it into here. Get rid of that variable random number. We don't want to have to be concerned with it anymore. Paste it in there and then close that bracket, and then we'll delete this. And that should be fine. So you can see we've just got rid of another another line of code there. And what this is doing now is it's saying return, which is the string that you're going to send back, answers array, and then just the rest of the code that we put in. You'll see it's loads of brackets at the end here. The square brackets for the part where it gets the number for the item from the answers array. This bracket here is closing off the random number generation, which is using this bracket to get the uint32 value from the answersarray.count, and then this bracket, which is pushing that value. You know, if it was a uint32 already, it would just be using that number on the arc4 random. So now we've got answers label dot text equals get answers. So when we press the button, it's going to come in here. It's going to say, right, go get an answer from this function get answers, and it'll come in here and it'll say, right, you're going to send back a string. Here's a variable array with all the answers in it. So now return the random number. So let's give it a bash and see how we get on. So stop that, it's running already. We're doing that. And now if we shake it, so it's already picked up a random one, maybe it's the second one, and it's going to pick them all up. So every time we press this, it's building the array variable and then it's returning the thing. So that's why maybe I think we want to move that array variable somewhere else so it's built once and then you know, because this might be a bit memory intensive, not for 11 values, but certainly if there was, you know, more complex things in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move that. We'll declare, how are we going to do this actually? Will we move it? Or will we think about this another time? So if we want to move it, first of all, we're going to have to go move this up here, make it a global variable. Move that up there. var answers array equals. You could initialize it by putting in all the things that you want to put into it, but we're not going to do that. What we'll do is we'll initialize it by saying it's going to be a string. It's going to be a array, which is these things. To initialize an array, you have to put in these square brackets, and then that's how it knows it's an array. And then inside we're saying it's an array of strings, and it's still complaining about something. Add argument after the type to construct a value of this type. So we need to put in this just brackets. And then down here in the get answers bit, we'll take all this away, take all that out of there, and we're going to put this into its own function. Actually, we'll go a new function, not that, func create answer, create answer array. And then we don't need any return from this. This is just going to build the array one time when we load the application, but it gives us the opportunity to rebuild it if we want to, if we need to. And we'll put in here answers array equals that, right? So when the view loads, the first thing we're going to do is create the answers array. And then the second thing we're going to do is set the answer label to an empty string. So that's two types of abstraction there. So create the answers array is done in here, which is called when the view loads. So it's only done once. That saves us building it every time we press the button. And then when we press the button, it assigns the label to the text from the get answer function, which is here, and that returns a string based on a random number that's pulled out of the array, which is a global variable now, which is defined when we start the app. So let's run it and see what happens. So now when we press the shake button, it's just using the same array. So if this was a massive array, this would be much better because it's already built the array, and it's in memory, and all we're doing now is referencing it. Click. Whereas if it wasn't already built and it was a massive array of like 1,000,000 answers, then every time we press that, it might take a wee second to catch up. But now all it's doing is going to the array's place in the memory and saying, give me number 1, give me number 8, give me number 22. Well, there's no 22, but you know what I mean. So that's a good improvement. So I think we'll leave it there for today, and next time we'll look at maybe improving this image, this layout a wee bit, make it a bit more pretty. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.